Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's an example yesterday I saw of this woman who's been here. I mean, we might even play this clip. She's been here 20 years. She has 3 kids who were born here. Her kids are because of birthright citizenship, which is another subject that's coming up. And she never bothered to even try to resolve her immigration status. Not in 20 years. She has never tried to resolve her immigration status. Not through Republican presidents, not through Democratic presidents, nothing. And so now, she's worried about being deported because they put out the sob story of this woman. Well, that's not the average person they're even looking at right now. The average person they're looking at, crossed in the last 3 years, are CNN is cutting jobs to embrace the digital future. No, because they're cutting jobs because, as I like to say, they suck. CNN is undergoing a significant restructuring, planning to lay off about 200 employees, which constitutes approximately 6% of its workforce. This move is part of a broader strategy under CEO Mark Thompson to pivot towards a digital-first approach, focusing on expanding digital subscriptions and reducing costs from traditional TV operations. Wait a minute. Didn't they already try the CNN subscription service, which failed miserably? Which, if you truly have compassion for trans kids, you would allow them to all go through puberty, because 90% of kids who think they're trans change their mind once they go through puberty. That puberty is the fix for most of the problems. But you guys want the medicalization of kids and sterilization of kids and medical and surgical altering of kids who can't make that decision at 12 years old or 13 years old. Diablo asks, why is it when I try to show empathy and concern, people always misconstrue it? Last time I asked someone if their mom at least got a good check from the clinic that botched the abortion. Oh! Oh, God. Damn it, AD. I think you just need to find a gentleman.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
I would be willing to bet everything I own that submitting a 22-minute video montage that shows the most egregious acts of violence you can find from that day, when the defendant in question is on that video for only 6 seconds and is seen walking calmly, is highly prejudicial and a violation of the defendant's due process rights. The person was found guilty and sentenced to 19 months in prison. Now, it took 2 hours to read through all of the documents that were in the case file. Every motion submitted by the defendant was denied. Every motion by the defendant was denied. How often does that happen? And every motion submitted by the government was granted. They turned a trespass misdemeanor that would have resulted in a $50 ticket into 5 misdemeanors and a felony charge by charging the defendant with a statute that would have required the Secret Service to rope off the section he was in, which they did not. They also charged him with a statute that would have required them to prove Mike Pence was in the building at the time he walked through that corridor. He was not. And finally, they used an Enron statute that the Supreme Court struck down. If you accept a pardon, you are admitting guilt. Period. That's the, because you can't be pardoned if you're not guilty.
Whether he can preemptive part, whether he can issue President's reportedly asking his staff whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer: no. No, Mr.
Oh,
that
you
would be a
can't?
gross abuse
Oh,
of the presidential
it's a
pardon authority.
gross abuse of presidential pardon authority. Well, there you go. You accepted a pardon, Adam Kinzinger. You think you may have committed a crime. Oh, here, Jamie Raskin. Dirty Q-tip. Dirty Q-tip, Jamie Raskin. What else? What did he have to say?
Well, the seeking of pardons
Yes,
is
it's only on
powerful
one side.
demonstration of the consciousness of guilt, or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble.
Jamie
And that's
Raskin.
what's so shocking
Did he get a
about this.
pardon also? Wasn't he on
Well,
that
the
committee?
seeking of pardons is
He was on that committee. I'm curious if you're going to condemn that part. Are you going to condemn that pardon?
Joe Biden pardoned a lot of people. Yeah, he should answer for that and explain.
Lots of murderers, lots of drug dealers, lots of people who killed people, commuted the sentence of a couple murderers. One drug dealer who people died from taking the drugs that they sold them.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
The Obama-Aniston rumors have gone wild. Rumors have emerged on social media that suggest Barack and Michelle Obama might be heading towards divorce, with speculators linking Barack Obama to actress Jennifer Aniston. Those rumors have gained traction following Michelle Obama's absence from Jimmy Carter's funeral and the inauguration, and are based on tabloid stories and social media speculation without solid confirmation from the individuals involved. So far, they're still rumors, and I don't know why people are perpetuating them, but it is kind of fun to perpetuate rumors like that. No one's come out to, out and out deny anything. That's the weird part.
We should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity.
The audacity!
Of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability.
Oh my God, his own criminal culpability and his son's business dealings. I know that they're talking about Joe Biden, aren't they?
And that of his family members.
Like the boy asked, are cats really soul suckers? Yes. Yes. That's why I'm not into cats. Dogs, man. I'm a dog guy. Avocado Stably, is there an aisle in the grocery store that is less objectionable to have sex in? Where do you come up with this shit? Dude.
Has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician has risen.
Yes.
Somebody who 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, a dead.
And I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding Donald Trump's demise that has failed. I wonder how many people at Davos, again, let me say it again. I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding what they had hoped would be Trump's demise. I bet you there's a few of them there. And it didn't work, did it now? Didn't work now, did it?
Politically known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can do anything.
At the end of the show, every day on my show, if I put something on the screen or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to. I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Night.
Can I get a hell yeah? Type hell yeah in the chat right now. Type hell yeah. Because I said so. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel, where today I'm going to broach a subject that I hadn't talked about a whole lot, but occasionally we talk about the players involved, but just I haven't gotten too in depth in it because I haven't followed necessarily close enough. No, what do you mean no? Don't give me that. I see you. What the hell was that? Anyway, so lots to talk about. Obviously, every day there's a lot to talk about because, people are stupid and they say stupid shit. And sometimes I got to be here to tell you about it or laugh at it or make jokes about it or just go, what? What? So anyway, let's get it started by saying hello to everybody. First in the chat today is it's Kara Soldier got the bell today. Yeah, that's new. No, not always new. Every once in a while, Kara Soldier beats AD, but of course, AD is here too. Avocados Diablo, good morning. Also, Willie won't lead a show is here. Good morning, Willie. Hello, Unacceptable Views, my other favorite Canadian. Also, good morning, Attack Alpaca. Darren Root, Anonymity, T2, I'll be back. Lord Stanhope's in the house. Tyre, Alexander, the Scourge is here. Good morning. Also, Ms. Wild Wolf, what's up, my fellow Minnesotan? Good morning. Also, Green Badger Outdoors. A nod, 1, 2, 3. Is here. Plague Trucker Zach, what's up? Zach Osborne, my friend. Good morning. Oh, Zablay's in the house. Zablay, how are you doing? It's been a long time, my friend. What's up? Good to see you. I said Lord Stanhope. Who else is here? Donkey Punch Bandit, the greatest name on the internet. And people are slowly but surely joining the show. 24 people here already. That's good. That's a little more than normal. And also, but only 10 likes. There's the problem. Let's get that like to viewers ratio up. That would be awesome. Now, I don't know if I told you this. By the way, today I got the Marvel Superhero Cup. It's black until you put hot stuff in it, and then the stuff all shows up. See, and then you got who we got on here? We got Thor, we got Captain America, we got that pink guy. I can't remember that character's name. Black Panther's on here, the Hulk, and some chick that I'm not sure who that is either. Anyway, happy Marvel Comic Book Day. And Aaron Meredith, good morning. Nice to see you. So, hit the like button, share the stream, and all that stuff. In fact, up at the top of the chat there, click that link and drop a let's go. Again, we're doing memes now. I mean, I know some of you still doing GIFs, peanut butter, whatever, but people are doing memes too, and I appreciate that. Oh, wait, what the hell is this? Okay, wait a minute. I need to fix this. Oh, copy. And I already did. Never mind. I don't need to open that. What am I doing? That's stupid. Okay, let's go back to the notifications. I want to say thank you to the people who have been tweeting out the show. I appreciate y'all. The first one I see here is from Reaccion Puerto Rico, and I'm assuming you're in watching the show because you tweeted it out. So good morning, Reaccion Puerto Rico, you lovely island of tropical breezes. Also, good morning, JB. What's up? So, Reaction Puerto Rico dropped this Let's Go with is that, I don't know if it's the Blue Angels, but it's a flight formation. I love watching planes do that. I think it's the coolest thing when they all fly in a formation like that. Also, Stop Noble Nation, thank you for tweeting out the show. I see, also it said, let's do it. Let's do it. Doom, 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 boo, doom. Bow, bow, doom, 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 bow, down. If you know what I was just singing, type in the chat. Also, let's see. Thank you, Green Badger Outdoors. What is that? You're going to need a superhero for that. Holy smolies. Also, good morning. Thank you, CG. Here we go. I don't know who that is, but that's some happy facing big eye MFer. Also, and I Dream of Jeannie. I love it. Is Barbara Feldon? Is that her name? Amazing Disgrace. Thank you. And Ty Alexander dropping a Ric Flair. Woo! And and it's a little Top Gun from Ms. Wild Wolf. So thanks everyone doing this. That's a lot of fun. And eventually people, I noticed that there's been a slight uptick in the number of people watching the show. And that's, Barbara Eden. Barbara Feldon was from Get Smart. Barbara Eden was from I Dream of Jeannie. I Dream of Jeannie. And also thank you, Swamp Fox Ghost, Tyre Alexander, CG, Somnambule Nation, Green Badger Outdoors, and Reaction Puerto Rico for retweeting the show of my tweet and all that stuff. And Mike Savage with a typical "Let us go, let us go." I tried to do that. Who's the Silence of the Lambs guy? The bad guy. Let us go. I'm trying to do it in that voice. Why can't it? Hannibal Lecter, from the movie Silence of the Lamb. Hannibal Lecter is not a real person, but I know that Donald Trump likes to reference the great Hannibal Lecter every once in a while because he just pisses people off when he does that, and I think sometimes the president just doesn't care. He wants to piss people off, and that's why I say, that's why I say Donald Trump's a jackass, but it's not. I don't mean that in a derogatory way. He's the jackass we need right now, and I'm so glad he doesn't give a shit what people think, because he doesn't have to be elected again. He got 4 years to get some shit straight, and he's doing his best to do it. So there you go. Good morning, Shrapnel. I see you dropping into the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let's get this started because, like I said, there's a lot of stuff. We'll go through trending stuff first. And I have 3 different days to talk about today. That's amazing. Well, not amazing because, I got to be honest with you. The first one, I'm like, it's a day that I think people got wrong because I don't think there's any such thing as what we're about to say. Special can acid on the honorable mention list of my favorite Canadians in the house and GDSOB. What's up? Nice to have you here. So today is it is World's Day of Social Justice. And the reason I cringe a little bit at World Day of Social Justice is because social justice is almost a misnomer, because when they say social justice, they mean like group social justice, and you can't really do justice for a group necessarily. I mean, I understand, for example, civil rights for various people. So, for example, these people who are talking about World Day of Social Justice, I don't see them going over to China. China is asshole. And taking up the cause of the Uyghurs, for example. Now, that's a group it's an entire group that is being oppressed, okay? But when they talk, but the way we talk about social justice in the United States, saying that people are oppressed, I think it's kind of overblown. But anyway, here's what some people are saying here. This is World Day of Social Justice. Take a stand for equality and fairness. Okay, good. Join the movement to build a world where everyone has equal opportunities and is treated with dignity and respect. And certainly not everywhere in the world, that is not the case, right? It's not the case everywhere in the world. But when they say, well, at least this one says equality and not equity, because equity is a really dumb concept, actually, because equity means everyone has the same outcomes, and that's never possible. People with different desires, dreams, goals, abilities, drive, all have and there's no way to force equal outcomes for everybody. Because everyone's different, and some people are going to be really diligent in some shit, and they'll do something over and over and over and over again until they get more and more and more. And some people just like, nah, I'm just gonna chill. I'm fine. I don't need that. So how am I going to have the same outcome as Elon Musk? I'm not that smart. I didn't, it's not happening. So anyway, lots of people talk about World Social Justice Day. That's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to say any more. Also, it is, now this one I appreciate, National Student Volunteer Day. This is a good one. Today is National Student Volunteer Day. We are celebrating the students who give their time and talents to make a difference in our school and community. Your hard work and kindness inspire us all. Thank you for making a difference. Now, this one I like. This is a day, you know what? I think, every once in a while, students need to go out there, volunteer. And I don't know, I don't even care what they volunteer at. They can volunteer, packing up food for third world nations. Because there's a place here called, Feed Our Starving Children. I think it's kind of a scam, though. But, places where they go volunteer and do something for other people. I think that's an important thing. I think everyone should take time to volunteer at some time in their life. Okay? So anyway, National Student Volunteer Day in the United States. And then the other day, this day, the next one, I definitely can get behind. And that would be National Muffin Day. Yes, it's National Muffin Day. Celebrate. Oh, that's cherry pie. Here we go. Happy National Muffin Day. No one's really saying much about it, but it is National Muffin Day. Oh, it's also National Cherry Pie Day, but I prefer actually I do prefer cherry pie, but it is National Muffin Day. Congratulations, everybody. I hope you celebrate National Muffin Day by having your favorite muffin. In fact, in honor of National Muffin Day, here's what I'd like you to do right now in the chat. Do me a favor. Tell me. Oh, by the way, keep it clean. Tell me, because, well, you know where I was going there. Oh, it's National Muffin Day. Oh, yeah. No, that's not what it's about. Tell me your favorite type of muffin. My favorite muffin it's like a cranberry orange muffin, not orange, super orangey, but an orange muffin with cranberries in it. Oh, that is my favorite. I do like blueberry muffins and apple cinnamon muffins and all this other, but that cranberry orange muffin, that is the shit. I'm just telling you. Do you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man? Do you know a Muffin Man? He lives on Drury Lane. That's not how the tune goes. Oh, you like bran muffins? Do you have bran muffin? Are you trying to tell me something? You got some Tubi issues in there? Anyway, okay, so we got bran muffins, blueberry muffins. That's good. My favorite muffin is Italian. Why do I think there's a double meaning in there, GD? I'm just saying. My favorite is shaved. Oh my God, y'all did you get you? Oh, yeah. Stop it. Blueberry cream cheese. Oh, that sounds good. Blueberry chocolate chip. I like banana chocolate chip muffins too, but they got to be right. They got to have enough banana in them, and they can't have they can have chocolate chip, but don't too many chocolate chips in it because then you ruin the banana. It's got to be a good balance on a banana chocolate chip muffin. So, all right, real quick. Oh, thank you. By the way, we do have our first sponsor of the day. Thank you, Avocados Dabbly, and you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Dropping a small bullet, AK $2.23, a small bullet in the tip jar saying, can we get some social justice maybe? Hell, I would even settle for some anti-social justice as a compromise. Well, you know what? That is fantastic. That is a great deal. And thank you for sponsoring the show. That was definitely worth it. Thank you, sir. All right. Oh, poppy seed and chocolate. Yeah, lemon poppy seed. I like lemon poppy seed muffins too. 70s muffin polka. Okay. God damn it, Somnable Nation. Okay, hang on. Okay, here we go. 70s muffin. poking out of a bikini like Jiffy Pop popcorn. Oh, yeah. I should have never asked. All right. Should we do some news now? Before we do news, I forgot. A celebrity birthday today. That would be today's celebrity birthday. Well, it would have been a celebrity birthday had he not contributed to his own demise. But the legendary Kurt Cobain would have been 58 years old today. I didn't know I was only 2 years older than Kurt Cobain. I have to think about that because when they came out, yeah, I suppose that makes sense. Yeah, he would have been 58 years old today. And in this tab today, when you go into the links, there are several performances and pictures and stuff about Kurt Cobain, obviously of the great breakout group Nirvana, kind of the I don't know if would you say they were the kings of the grunge scene back in the 90s, early 90s, whatever. They definitely came out. Oh, by the way, so you know the song Smells Like Teen Spirit? Doom 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 doom. So I saw this thing, and maybe you've seen this before. The guy who's the Foo Fighters lead singer, who's their drummer. What the hell's his name? Anyway, he was on this music show, and he was talking about, because he was playing drums for them, and he was talking about how, one of his favorite drummers was the drummer from the Gap Band. Yes, Dave Grohl. And he's talking about, what his favorite drummers was from the Gap Band. And if you know, for the Gap Band, it's a kind of a funk, soul funk band from the 70s and 80s. And like, for example, they did Early in the Morning, Find Me Another Love. Gotta get up early in the morning. That band. And when they were doing Smells Like Teen Spirit, he was emulating the drummer from the Gap Band in there. And when I first heard that, it just hit me like a brick when I saw that. I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what he was doing. He was playing the same beat as the drummer from the Gap Band on Smells Like Teen Spirit. It was kind of wild. So that's his whole drumming style. And then he started listening to some of the other songs, and yeah, he kind of emulated that style when he was doing that. So anyway, FTG Dave Grohl. Wait a minute. Twiggy Ramirez showed me a Polaroid of him and Courtney not long after Kurt was passed, and let's just say it was definitely Courtney. Oh, you think Courtney did it? A lot of people think that. So anyway, so there. Happy birthday, or related, or post-mortem birthday to Kurt Cobain, one of the legendary artists in the history of rock and roll. All right, moving on. Let's talk about some news now. Let's get some news. We got a lot of stuff. Outstanding. You really start me up. Did you know the lead singer of Fear Factory was in the music video for Smells Like Teen Spirit? Crazy. No, I had no idea. I don't know who the Fear Factory is. I'm not familiar with that. I'll look it up later, though. Thanks for letting me know that. All right, let's get into some headlines, some trending news, whatever. Walmart stock dips after earnings beat, but guidance falls short. Apparently, Walmart stock experienced a significant drop after reporting fourth quarter earnings that exceeded expectations, but provided forward guidance well below Wall Street's forecast for 2026. Despite the stock price decline, Walmart announced a 13% increase in the annual dividend, indicating confidence in its financial stability. Analysts noted the impact of anticipated tariffs on Canada and Mexico as a contributing factor to investor concerns about future probabilities. So they're concerned about the tariffs as far as earnings. And so this has some lefties just celebrating, even though those tariffs have not been enacted yet and may never be enacted. Did I say how you do, Tyler F? Or did you just get here? Hi, Tyler F. What's up? So of course Brian Krasenstein, and this is one of these lying with statistic things. Look at the chart he decides to put on here. Okay, whenever you see a chart like this and they show, oh, this is the loss, when they cut it off at the bottom of the loss, making it look like they lost everything, that is lying with statistics. That's trying to create an emotional, an emotional reaction to this. But they did lose 8%, which is significant. So here's Brian Krasenstein, the uglier of the Krasenstein twins. That's a Randy Monkey joke, by the way. I stole that from him. The uglier of the identical twin Krasenstein brothers says, wow. Here, let me do the whole post here because, it's significant. Wow. Walmart stocks just plunged 8% after reporting their earnings and highlighting that Trump's proposed Mexico and Canada tariffs will likely impact their bottom line moving forward. In other words, Trump's tariffs are already impacting the markets before they're even implemented. Okay. And there's a whole lot of other stuff that Trump's doing that'll probably impact the markets. If we can get our uncontrolled government spending down and we can lower the deficit or maybe eliminate the deficit or have a balanced budget or maybe, if we can, there's a whole lot of things that are factors. But you know what? If you look at a real timeline of Walmart, here's what. If you go now, this isn't even zero. This bottoms out at 77.50. But if you look at this is from since. Let's see. This is this year. This is just through. Here, let me make this full size. This. So here's what it looks like if you put the bottom at 77.50 instead of 95, like Brian did. And this is just over the last month, okay, or since November 11th. Walmart stocks were up. Can you see my cursor? You can't see my cursor, can you? Okay, well, anyway, if you look at from the left to right, obviously it's been going up and down and up, but it's still up. Even since January, the beginning of the year, it's still up. So it dropped 8% between January 1st and now, and it was lower before this year. So the stock had been going up and up and up. An 8% drop. So Brian's little fake-ass chart here, or his little cutout of that, is, and a lot of other people using it, the Kobayashi letter. Same thing. Breaking. Walmart stocks fall over 8%, reported earnings signaling potential weakness due to upcoming Mexico and Canada tariffs. But you're not telling the whole story because you're clipping out this little bit right here where it's only the bad news. As opposed to since the beginning of the year, it's still up from the 1st of January, even from January 20th. Let me see. Let's go back to this other big chart here. January 20th. Let's see. January 20th it's still higher than even January 20th when Donald Trump announced the potential tariffs. And so this is called lying with statistics. There you go. What's this? It's still up 63.90 since January. 63.9 or 90%, not 63% since January. Anyway, there you go. So yes, it dropped one day. We'll see what happens tomorrow and the next day and then the next week and the next month, the entire year. We'll see what happens. Moving on. Plane crash in Arizona. Everyone's talking about a plane crash in Arizona. And this is another Krasenstein favorite. And all these assholes, Democrats, assholes, leftists, mainstream media, I know this is all redundant, but they're really excited about a plane crash in Arizona right now, too. Oh, my God. There was a plane crash in Arizona. So here it is. And here's the other Krasenstein. We'll do another Krasenstein moment. Breaking. Another American plane crash under the Trump administration today in Arizona. What's going on? We've had at least 9 plane crashes since Trump took office. Do you think this has anything to do with him firing many valuable FAA workers. Okay, let me clue you into something here. I'm gonna try to say it again. Let me clue you into something here. The Federal Aviation Administration, since Trump took office, they have fired a total of roughly 300 employees. None of them having anything to do with airline safety or operations. By the way, the Federal Aviation Administration has 51,000 employees. So firing 300 provisional employees didn't have anything to do with any of the fucking plane crashes, Ed, and all you other dickheads. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So he's saying there's 9. Okay, great. Let's scroll down a little bit because some other people are going to be talking about this. Oh my God! Oh, no lie. It should be all lies with Brian Tyler Cohen. Oh my God! Hours after 2 people died in a plane crash in Arizona, Trump is now bragging about how brave he is for flying in an airplane, saying he deserves to give himself the Congressional Medal of Honor. Yeah, I'm sure he was, because all you fuckers are talking about plane crashes all of a sudden. So, 4 people I know died in a plane crash in Arizona last fall. Barely a blip about them on national news, and certainly no one blaming Biden for equipment failure. Biden was at the beach on that day. Stop being a hypocrite. So here's the thing about the plane crashes, by the way. And someone will have this chart. I'm going to see it here in a minute, because there were the first month of the Biden administration, there were like 120 plane crashes. You didn't hear about them because they're all small crashes, small planes, sometimes runways, people hitting on the tarmac or whatever. And look, I don't credit Trump for there being fewer plane crashes either. But the absolute idiocy of trying to blame the plane crashes on Trump. The only reason you're hearing about these plane crashes is because there was one big crash and everyone tried to, 9 days into the Trump administration, and everyone's trying to find a way to blame Trump for it. So everyone's talking about it. I wish I could find the video that I'm looking for, but there's people who have been posting the crash statistics over the last 10, 15 years. This is not unusual that there are plane crashes, but what is unusual is every single one is being amplified by the media, and they should be fucking embarrassed for what they're trying to imply. Excuse me. So, all right, thank you, Avocados Diablo. Another small bullet in the tip jar. Appreciate you sponsor the show. AD says, the U.S. averages about 2 plane crashes a day, with about 500 fatalities from them a year. The idea that planes never crash is asinine. Just because they tend not to be large planes, people forget it happens. And this one too. And so this is also, the crash was at a small airstrip in Arizona that does not have air traffic controllers. Didn't have them during the Biden administration, doesn't have them now. What exactly are they trying to imply here? That this has something to do with the FAA? Has nothing to do with it whatsoever. Thank you, Avocados Diablo. All right, let's move on. Also trending, the Red Cross is trending. So the remains of 4 hostages were returned to Israel. People who have been in captivity, who were kidnapped during the October 7th deal and were unfortunately killed in captivity or died in captivity. Either way, it doesn't matter. And so a lot of people are talking about that and how the Red Cross handled this. So the Bibas family were held hostage for 503 days. The only time the Red Cross visited them was to put their coffins in the back of a car, because people are complaining about the Red Cross not doing anything in this situation. And I'm sure rock hard place for them because they can request to visit people, but whether they did or not, I don't know. And I'm sure that Hamas and whatever people were having these people weren't allowing them to visit these people. But a lot of people are angry because of the way Hamas returned these people. Because they've had them in captivity. They had this agreement to return them. And the husband lived. They returned the husband last week, I believe. But what they did is, in returning these bodies, they paraded their coffins or remains through the streets and basically had a celebration for the death of these people that they were returning. And then the Red Cross helped turn them out, or return them to the Israelis. And I just don't. I guess this is the culture that is there, but it's insane. It's just so bad. And so people are very mad. The Red Cross, also known as useless Uber drivers for murdered Jewish children. Here it is. The terrorists in Gaza paraded the bodies of Israeli hostages through the streets with music playing in the background before handing them over to the Red Cross. It was a hard process to process the scene. Among them were Kfir and Ariel Bibas. Kfir was only 10 months old when he was taken, and Ariel was just 4. They were kidnapped, and now this. It's heartbreaking to think about what their families go through. So this is the scene of them. They're treating it as a celebration of the death of these people. Anyway, I can't even watch it. And I would feel the same if we're the other way around and the Israelis were parading hostages through there. I think the Israelis just drive the prisoners that they release over in a van and let them go. They don't make a big celebration out of it. So to me, it's pretty sick. And so people are mad at the Red Cross for that. I don't see any other, let's see. The Red Cross went into concentration camps and with the smell of burning Jewish souls published a letter saying that there was nothing but good, healthy conditions. Oh, this is another tweet. The Red Cross were Hamas's partners, transporting bombs and terrorists to protect them from being seen. The Red Cross stole millions from Haiti after the earthquake and refused to deploy it after the emergency phase. The Red Cross is a network of corruption and money laundering, paying $4,000 for a tent, which we pay $99 for. The Red Cross raises millions for North Carolina from NFL and Fox. Someone asked where that money goes. The Red Cross is a corrupt money laundering, child trafficking UN proxy where their leadership flies on private jets, being part of the globalist agenda. Shut all these criminals down. I can't say everybody in the Red Cross is that way, but obviously they found there's been some corruption some places, and so that's why everyone's angry with the Red Cross. Let's move on. Also, confirmed Cash Patel has been out of committee, voted out of committee to the full Senate to be confirmed as the director of the FBI. So lots of people are saying confirm Cash. Let's see, someone here that says today is the day. Let's get confirm Cash Patel as the #1 trending topic on X. Cash Patel is director of the FBI, is by far one of the most important appointments by Donald Trump. Remember, Cash Patel plans to release the Jeffrey Epstein files on day 1. So confirm Cash is trending all over. Some senators doing it. Some people are mad. Is this, which one was this? Did this senator just threaten anyone who votes to confirm Cash Patel? If you vote for Cash Patel more than any other confirmation vote you make, you will come to regret this one to your grave. This is Senator Chris Murphy saying that. He's one of the people on Twitter who I think leads all those influencers on their talking points.
If you vote for Cash Patel more than any other confirmation vote you make, You will come to regret this one to your grave.
Well, is that a threat? I'm just saying. And of course, there's got to be something. There's got to be something Adam Schiff in here. I'm not seeing it. Here we go. Even Elon Musk saying confirm Cash. Mike Lee, on a scale of 1 to 10, how upset will you be if Cash Patel isn't confirmed when the Senate finally votes on his nomination tomorrow, which would be today? So they're going to be voting on this today. Along with that, Cash Day is also trending. Oh no! Wait a minute. Let's look at this one. This is funny. So that looks like a vision of Barack Obama. Oh, it's a bunch of them. Oh no, Elizabeth Warren too. Yes. Adam Schiff. Nope, Adam Schiff was preemptively pardoned, so he won't be at this place. Oh my goodness. That's classic. That's beautiful. Oh, and Barack too. Oh God, putting them all behind bars. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So anyway, that's Cash Patel, full Senate. We should be watching that right now instead of doing what I'm doing. But I got to talk about Ukraine. So we'll get to that in a minute. Moving on, Senator John Cornyn is trending. Apparently, well, look, Canon Hotep, what's up, man? Nice to see you. Someone else just showed up too. Who else came in? Did I catch everybody coming in? John Cornyn's trending. Senator John Cornyn from the state of Texas. And the first thing I saw this, I don't know what he did, but then I'm looking at the first tweet in this hashtag or whatever, this trending topic. People are waking up to the fact that John Cornyn could never stand Trump and never has. No matter where you look in Texas, folks want him gone and primaried. Only one man. Oh my God. Sorry. Did not mean to do that. A little bit too much. I'm drinking tea instead of coffee. I don't know what's up there. Only one man has what it takes to crush him in 2026, and that's Texas AG Ken Paxton. So people are, I guess, encouraging them to primary John Cornyn, and Ken Paxton's name's coming up. So anyway, here's what people are mad about. This is the Calvin Coolidge Project. Just in, Texas Senator John Cornyn slams President Trump and Doge. Quote, he is testing the limits of his authority under the Constitution as the chief executive officer of the country. We're going to have to wait until the courts sort this out. Okay. Look, I'm going to be perfectly honest. He's not necessarily wrong. He's not wrong, okay? Because look, I am very skeptical about giving more power to the top executive, the president, when it comes to legislation and things like that. But here's where I'm going to differ with John Cornyn. The president of the United States heads the executive branch. And all of these agencies and whatever, commissions, whatever, are all under the purview of the executive branch. You know, I was looking at some of there's the case against USAID, okay, and there was, some of the states were trying to get a court injunction to stop them from stopping, ending funding on some of these different things they're doing. And it's interesting because while they had a temporary restraining order on things they can't do, it was also explicit that things that they're allowed to do, they could keep doing. And when they started looking at the contracts for all of these grants and different things that they've been shelling money out for, almost every one of those grant programs has a clause stating that the grant can be terminated at any time if it's determined that the grant isn't within the, the goals of whatever administration, whatever the, of the current administration. So now they're fine. And some of the people who are suing are like, no, wait, they have to keep funding this. And they're like, no, there's a clause right here. It says it right in the grant that this can be terminated at any time. So a lot of those grants, they're not terminating them. They're not, they're still not funding them because it's written right within the grant that they can be, it's not like, it's not like if you get an NBA contract and you're guaranteed $120 million, whether you get injured or not. It's not like that. These grants all have termination clauses, and they're pretty generous termination clauses based on whatever the, whatever the goals of the grant or the administration that's pushing the grant, does. So they're now they're mad that, oh my God, they're still stopping these grants. So that is within the purview of the executive branch. That is within the purview of the President of the United States. They keep yelling, constitutional crisis. I think they looked up some things before they started doing this. And understanding that all of these government agencies, bureaucracies, or whatever, are controlled by the executive branch, not the legislative branch. The legislative branch just writes bills and laws and stuff. The judicial branch, they just are the judge when there's a conflict between them. The executive branch is the one who enforces the laws and runs the agencies. So, sorry, John. In a way, John Cornyn's right. He's testing his limits of his authority under the Constitution as the chief executive officer of the country. But I think what you're going to find out is that, those limits of authority, he's within his own purview of the branch of the executive branch. So there you go. So anyway, a lot of people trashing John Cornyn, but I don't think they need to trash him. He's not in the wrong. But a lot of people are talking about primarying John Cornyn. So that's why he's in the news. And if you want, throw out a big FTG to John Cornyn. There you go. By the way, did I do one for, no, I didn't do that. All right. Now, also, did I tell the people that in the news? Oh, I skipped a couple. Oh, I see. I put them there later. New York is trending. New Yorkers. Apparently, Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, made some kind of New York City congestion tax where everyone who came into New York City had to pay like $9 a day or $15 a day or whatever to travel into New York City in a vehicle, right? And I'm pretty sure the people in New York were mostly pretty pissed about it. And so, so what happened was, well, here, let's see here. Where is it? Somehow Donald Trump found a way to say, you're not going to charge that tax. You can't charge that tax. Hello, Reaction Puerto Rico. Oh, and Selecta Boys in the house. What the hell?
Yeah, boy.
So I'm just reading through this, why people are talking about New Yorkers. And now, I don't like Joey Manorino. I think he's hyperbolic, a little bit too out there on the right, but sometimes he says stuff that makes sense. Says the governor of New York is now going to sue Trump in court to make sure she can charge New Yorkers $9 a day to drive in their own city. And she's bragging about doing that. Then Democrats wonder why they lost the election. Well, there he made a good point. Dan Bongino, only Trump could convince the imploding Democrats to sue him in court in order to tax a group of already overtaxed New Yorkers for driving on a street you already paid a toll to drive on. Yeah, a lot of those streets in New York are toll roads too. But here it is. Let's see if I can find. Let's see. I hate to break it to you, Kathy Hochul, you're not a queen either, and New Yorkers shouldn't be ruled by someone like you. You have seriously hurt the working class people in New York City. You should be removed. Where is it? Here it is. Here's the one I wanted to show you. Breaking. New York Governor Kathy Hochul, I don't know. Hawkface, just issued a statement saying she has sued President Trump to overturn his decision to make New York more affordable by revoking her tyrannical congestion bill. We'll see you in court. Dear New Yorkers, vote red from now on. Democrats hate you. Now, I don't know. Look, this may be, I don't know how Trump can force a state to change its policies and laws. I don't think he made some joke. Oh, here it is. He made a joke about being king. Here it is. He posted, congestion pricing is dead. Manhattan and all of New York is saved. Long live the king, President Donald Trump. No, don't. Now, I know he's just trolling the hell out of people, but no, we don't have kings. Stop it. That's terrible. Here. And as a native New Yorker, President Trump understands Hochul's congestion scheme hurt New York City's economy, our small businesses, New Yorkers' wallets, and it double told my constituents. We thank President Trump for axing the tax. Here, we'll watch this one, then I'm going to move on. I haven't seen this one either. But yeah, that congestion tax in New York just has people pissed off.
Well, I've been speaking with President Trump and Secretary Duffy now for a few weeks since they took their offices. But this has been going on since May. That was when I first approached President Trump about this, and he immediately said that he would do whatever he can to halt this program. He, as a New Yorker, understands how damaging this program is to our city's economy, to our local businesses, to the residents, the constituents that we both represent. This was an unfair toll, particularly considering the residents that I represent in Staten Island. They are already tolled to connect to the rest of the city, and this was a double toll that they were facing to go into the center of the city in which they live. And so for the people I represent in Staten Island and Brooklyn, this is a good day, and it was very
Brooklyn and Staten Island get double tolled
in terms of tolling not just my constituents, but think about the first responders, the restaurant workers, the nurses, people going in for medical appointments, and they have to go in at all sorts of odd hours, and they didn't feel safe riding the subways of New York City, and we had urged the governor to, instead of tolling people to try to force them onto the transit system, to instead make the city's transit system safe, repeal some of the bad policies they made that had hurt public safety, and make everyone feel more comfortable in using the system.
Now, it's interesting how they put this here, by the way, FTG Kathy Hochul. President Trump terminates approval for New York City's congestion pricing plan. I'm curious how he can do that. Here, let's see.
Well, I've been speaking with President Trump.
Shush, woman. I should never say. Don't. By the way, never say that to your wife. Shush, woman. That ain't the right thing to do. Let's see if I can find something here. Congestion pricing, Trump. Congestion pricing, Trump. See what he did exactly, because I don't know. All I know is that Kathy Hochul is mad, and the fact that it had to be approved. I don't know how you approve or unapprove it. Oh, by the way, Hochul claimed that she put money back in people's pockets because New York was originally going to charge $15 for congestion pricing instead of only charging $9. That's typical. That's just some typical doublespeak bullshit about taxes. Oh, see, it was going to be $15. I saved you $6 because now it's only $9. Well, no, you're charging me $9 to drive where I already drive. Let's see. Hochul's final lawsuit against Trump for saving New Yorkers money. I don't know. I don't know how he can do that. It must require some kind of, maybe it's because they're federal roads. It does affect interstate commerce, so it's under his purview. I see. So it has to be approved by so apparently the Biden administration said, go ahead and do whatever the hell you want. Okay, that makes sense. Got it. All right, moving on. Let's see. Did Cornyn, here we go. New York is Stacey Abrams is trending too. The governor of Georgia is trending. Stacey Abrams. Apparently, Stacey Abrams got caught up in the Doge purge, so to speak. Someone says Stacey Abrams caught trying to steal a gigantic $2 billion from taxpayers. Now, steal is a pretty harsh word. I'm not going to say steal, but let's just continue. That enormous amount of money was discovered by Doge. The huge scandal revolves around funds earmarked for a group linked to the biggest election denier ever. It's a gargantuan story of fiscal gluttony. This guy's using words very strategically. So Doge finds $2 billion in taxpayer funds earmarked for Stacey Abrams linked group. Now, careful with this. She may have, I don't know what the group is yet, so I'm not gonna, when they say Stacey Abrams linked group, that's like, I was gonna say putting the weight of the world on you, but that's not what I meant. I don't want to make jokes like that. That's not right.
I did win my election. I just didn't get to have.
She's still the election denier. But here, let me get some. Again, they keep saying tried to steal $2 million taxpayers. Okay, here's in the Free Beacon. That's what I'm looking for. Here's the article. Doge. Okay, here it is. Doge discovered $2 billion in taxpayer funds set aside for a fledgling nonprofit linked to perennial Georgia Democrat candidate Stacey Abrams, the Environmental Protection Agency under the Biden administration. Okay. Again, these agencies under the president get money and then they decide who they're going to dole it out to. It's almost like they run the country. The Environmental Protection Agency under the Biden administration awarded Power Forward Communities the grant in April 2024, a $2 billion grant, mind you, as part of the agency's Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund program. Power Forward Communities received the Green Energy Grant despite the fact that it was founded months earlier in late 2023 and never managed anywhere near the grant's dollar figure. It reported just $100 in total revenue during the first 3 months in operation, according to the latest tax filings. Do you think they got this? Do you think they got this grant because of somebody who might have been associated with it? Do you think? Hello, Kay Schulb. What's up, Kirsten? What's up? Power Forward Communities grant was one of just 8 Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund grants that the EPA doled out in April 2024, and that altogether totaled $20 billion with a B dollars. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin announced on February 13th that his staff and Department of Government Efficiency officials discovered that the Biden administration parked that same $20 billion at an outside financial institution before leaving office. Oh my God, they hit it. Limiting the federal government's oversight of the program. The revelation that Power Forward Communities is among the beneficiaries of the funds Lee Zeldin's team located raises ethics questions about how the Biden administration selected recipients of such massive grants and whether it played favorites when doling out those grants. Abrams was a vocal proponent of the Biden administration's green energy agenda and campaigned for former Vice President Kamala Harris. It appeared to validate concerns expressed for years by Republicans that the Biden administration allies would prop up organizations that were specifically designed to receive federal funding under programs like the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, which was created to operate as a green bank by Democrats' BMF Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. So the Inflation Reduction Act could have been, this sounds like kind of a little money laundering fund. I don't know. I made a commitment to members of Congress and the American people to be a good steward of the tax dollars, and I've wasted no time keeping my word, Zeldin told the Washington Free Beacon. When we learned about the Biden administration's scheme to quickly park $20 billion outside the agency, we suspected that some organizations were created out of thin air just to take advantage of this. Well, that sounds like it. A brand new organization gets a $2 billion grant from the United States government? Holy moly. All right, so that explains why Stacey Abrams is trending. Now I don't know if she's a principal in that group or not, but she's in it. So that's why she's trending. Been around the world and anyway, speaking of hefty I'm sorry. Speaking of heavyweights in the political world, J.D. Pritzker is trending too. So J.D. Pritzker is very angry with Donald Trump. Oh my gosh, I should be already making me talk. Am I close to the main topic? Oh yes, it's almost, well, it's close. J.D. Pritzker is mad. He said, "We don't have kings." Here's just a whole section of J.D. Pritzker. He's the governor of Illinois, by the way, and he's a billionaire, and his transgender sibling is also they run some company or whatever. So he's saying we don't now. It's funny. Call to activism here. This is one of those shill Democrat accounts. Has a 12-second clip of one thing that J.D. Pritzker said, and then I'm going to show you a little expanded version of what he said in a minute. But here's the 12-second clip that the left people are really proud of J.D. Pritzker for.
My oath is to the Constitution.
Oh, yes.
Of our state.
Great.
And of our country.
Great, G.
We don't have kings in America.
By the way,
and I don't intend to bend the knee to one.
Oh, good. Except for if you're breaking immigration laws, and Tom Homan's coming. Anyway, so apparently this is the clip the people on the right are putting out about J.D. Pritzker's speech. This must be the State of the State address or something. I don't know what he was there for. But here's where he's saying that maybe, just maybe, it's more important to protect illegal aliens than deal with our own citizenship.
Our new treasures deserve things the people of Illinois are not afforded. Believe it or not, there are people even less fortunate than Illinoisans.
What?
Free healthcare, free food, free homes, and spending money to live their own lives for the undocumented is the American dream.
Okay, that's not him saying that, but he might as well have said that. Here it is. This is another one. Governor. Oh, this is the King's one. Let's see. J.B. Pritzker gave himself emergency executive powers for 1,116 days so that he could be your health czar. He kept our children home from school, closed our churches, and drove countless small businesses out of business. Spare your hypocrisy. He's talking about being there for Illinoisans. And then he tweets this. Only an idiot would think we should eliminate emergency response to natural disasters, education and healthcare for disabled children. Oh, see, I made this point the other day. Democrats always frame things based on emotions, trying to get an emotional response, whereas I just want our fiscal house in order. So he has to say education and healthcare for disabled children, because it's considering dropping the Department of Education, right? Clean air and water programs, gang crime investigations, monitoring nursing home abuse, nuclear reactor regulation, cancer research. Only an idiot would think we should eliminate those. Now, I'm trying to figure out who the hell he's talking about, because I don't know anyone who's doing any of those things. Okay. Someone here says Pritzker's like the kid on the playground who can't beat you, so he always has to resort to name calling. Today, Pritzker's name calling likened Trump and 77,302,580 people of his followers to Nazism. So I'll do a little name calling of my own. Pritzker, you are a total asshole. Let's see, where someone responded to him on that last post though. I can't find it. Oh, it was in the post. Duh. Let me go back to that post that he said no one. Here it is. So, fixed it. Only an idiot would think Trump is going to eliminate emergency response to natural disasters, education and healthcare for disabled children, clean air and water programs, gang crime investigations, monitoring, nursing home abuse, nuclear reactor regulation. Yeah. No, who said he was going to do that? Hello, Sapphire Dragon, by the way. Who said he was going to do any of that? Okay. Just demagoguery. So, but J.B. Pritzker probably is going to try to run for president. So he's got to be the anti-Trump guy. Again, of course, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker likens Trump's administration actions to Nazi Germany. That's been a very effective political strategy for Democrats. I hope they continue to do that. I really do. I hope that they try to tell us that everyone who voted for Donald Trump is a Nazi, because that really works for them. And the more they do it, the happier I will be. So there you go. Moving on. All right, let me get through the rest of the trending topics and get out of here. Oh, Bernie Sanders also. Now I have a question. First of all, now this is 9 minutes long, and I'm not going to play the whole thing. But I'm gonna give you just a little bit of it to show you something that Bernie Sanders said, and it brought me to a very important question. So I'm going to play the beginning of this.
I do not often find myself in the habit of thanking Elon Musk, but I must confess that he has done an exceptional job of demonstrating a point that a few of us have been making for years. And
what is that?
The reality that we live in an oligarchic society in which billionaires dominate not only our politics and the information we consume from media, but our government and economic lives as well.
Okay. I wonder if Bernie knows that pretty much all the people who run your favorite newspapers, that even the ones that support you, are pretty much owned by millionaires and billionaires. By the way, Mr. Three Homes, millionaire yourself. I'm not going to finish that sentence. Here we go.
That has never been clearer than it is today.
Okay.
But given the news and attention Mr. Musk has been getting over the last few weeks as he illegally and unconstitutionally dismantles government agencies.
Ooh, that's interesting. Illegally and unconstitutionally. Let me just do this. X'd it out, but we'll see. I guess we'll see.
I think it is an appropriate time to ask the question that the media and most politicians don't seem to be asking.
What's that question?
What do he and other multi-billionaires really want?
Okay.
What is their end game?
Interesting.
In my opinion, what Musk and those around them are aggressively striving for is not novel, it is not complicated, and it is not new. It is what ruling classes throughout history have always wanted and have always believed is theirs by right. More power, more control, and more wealth.
Okay, now I'm just going to stop there. He goes on for another 8 minutes on this theme, right? But it begs the question. So he makes this video about Elon Musk and the current, people in power, the people who were elected. Elon Musk wasn't elected, but he was, he's been asked for this, position by Donald Trump, who was elected. And he's talking about how these millionaire oligarchic class want more wealth and power, right? To which I ask a simple question. Has Bernie Sanders ever made a similar video about the World Economic Forum and the people who go to Davos? Because it almost seems like he has forgotten that those people meet every year to try to determine what everyone in the world should do. That would seem to me like that would be the oligarchs. And they're the ones who, a lot of the BlackRock guys, Larry Fink and all them, the vanguards, and they all go to the World Economic Forum, and they're always trying to tell us how we're going to manipulate everyone in the world to do what we want to do. They're the ones talking about the smart cities and all this stuff that, they want. And every once in a while, they get a little fly in the ointment. Malay or Donald Trump or somebody goes in there and puts them in their place for a little bit, but they're all scheming on what they can do to control the world. And I don't know, and maybe he has. If you can find one, let me know. Has Bernie Sanders ever made a video about the people at Davos and the World Economic Forum? That's just, I'm curious, because maybe because if he hasn't, it might because They have some similar goals, but those are the richest people and the most powerful people in the world who get together every year telling them how they're going to make the whole world do what they want. And I'm just curious. So, all right, real quick. Thank you, Avocados Dalby, another small boat in the tip jar. Appreciate it. Who says, I hate to tell Bernie, but a republic, which is a type of state we live in, is a type of an oligarchy. It's just one where the few are elected on occasion. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Also, a reaction on Puerto Rico with a deuce in YouTube Super Chat says, sir, will you open the phone lines one day? Yeah, I got to do that again. Maybe we'll try to do that. We'll try to do that within the next 7 days. I haven't done an open line show for a long time. We'll do that again. Thank you, both of you, for supporting the show. Moving on. What else? CPAC is trending. I don't have. The only news that's coming out of CPAC is apparently one of the January 6ers who does some political reporting had his credentials revoked from CPAC while he's walking up to claim the 22 tickets he bought for fellow J6ers. Jake Lang was held for 1,467 days, more than 900 of them in solitary confinement with no trial. So for some reason they kicked him out. Let's see what he says here. Maybe.
Cannot come in and say the booth is fine.
Hey guys, right now, my name's Jake Lang. This is Cynthia from CPAC. She's one of the managers here. They're telling me right now I am not allowed to stay at CPAC. They are kicking January 6ers out of CPAC live. We are right now live on the Gateway Pundit on Blessed News. This is Cynthia right here. This woman is telling me that my credentials have been removed. You know, I did 900 days of solitary confinement. I was just released from the D.C. Gulag 29 days ago with a presidential pardon. And you're removing my credentials from CPAC. After I just bought a booth, 22 tickets I bought for all my Jan 6 brothers. This is abhorrent. This is horrible. We should not be being treated like this. This is horrible. Jan 6ers are being kicked out of CPAC with no explanation, no reason. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars to fly Jan 6ers, destitute people across the country to be here. How can,
sir, I'm just talking to you. I'm not talking about you.
You guys need to put your hands on me or get the police here, but we are live right now with thousands of people watching. Why am I being kicked out of CPAC? Why have my credentials been removed?
CPAC just decided that they don't want you here for whatever reason.
Okay.
If you want to contact
So this is curious. It goes on for another few minutes, but curious why that is. So that's why I don't know if they really wanted that to be the how they wanted the CPAC to start out. Who knows? Someone here said, oh, and there's another person, Richard Bego Barnett, says he's a husband, father, J6. Okay, he's also a pardoned political prisoner. So apparently they're not allowing the J6ers at CPAC. And let's see what he has to say.
Bear in mind, I am literally the middleman with limited information.
Okay.
For some reason,
is
I don't
this the same
why
guy?
CPAC wants to deny you access to that.
Okay. I know why.
Okay.
And I understand it.
Okay. You do understand or don't understand?
I'm a J6er.
Okay.
And I have an unlimited, unconditional presidential pardon from President Trump, the United States President.
I've heard that, yep.
Okay. So I went when he called me. I stood up.
Sure.
I spent all this time in prison for my country. Okay?
And I appreciate that.
Well, apparently y'all don't, because CPAC is steady every day kicking us out of CPAC.
Okay.
Just for being J6s, I'm not the first one.
Okay.
So can you explain me why you would kick
Let's see if he gets an explanation.
That were persecuted for 4 years.
Oh, they did reverse the decision? Oh, okay. Well, I haven't heard that yet. Let's see if there's the latest here. This is Laura Logan. This is what happened. Posting the video so you can see for yourself and make up your own mind. Jake is upset, as anyone would be if you were kicked out without given a reason, especially after you've been in prison for standing up and you've been pardoned by the sitting president. Why would they do this? Someone here says, I heard Jake Lang is not liked by many of the other J6ers. He was considered a snitch by several of them. And maybe another J6er didn't want him there. I don't know. But apparently they reversed the decision. I haven't heard that yet. I don't see anything here. Nothing in the latest here. JD Vance got a huge applause at CPAC. Let's see what JD Vance did, and then we're going to move on to Ukraine because that's what I was supposed to talk about today.
Shifting to your incredible speech at the Munich conference. Did you all watch that?
JD needs longer pants.
I don't know.
How far did his pants go up there? JD, wear longer pants next time.
Okay.
You guys liked it.
Okay.
You shouldn't have any legs showing. Oh, you sent me a DM? Okay, thanks. Okay, so that's he got a nice round of applause there. Let's check my DMs here real quick. We'll go here. There we go. Okay, so here it is. Breaking, it appears CPAC has reversed their decision to ban several January 6 defendants. Stuart Rhodes was just told to register again after being removed from the event yesterday. So, I don't know why they would do that. You would think that they'd be interested in hearing people's stories and, whatever went on at CPAC. So, thank you for putting that in there. Let's see. I think I got through all of this. Let's talk about Ukraine. So this is the Ukraine hashtag, all kinds of things going on about Ukraine. One of the big ones that someone posted though was this Ukrainian soldier. And this is fascinating. This is one of the things that people are posting, that this Ukrainian soldier, watch what he does.
Ну що, пацани, дождались ми підтримки, да? Дождались.
Okay. Now, so if you didn't see what he did, he ripped some American flags off his helmet, his camo helmet. I got a question. Why does he have American flags on his helmet if he's fighting in Ukraine against Russia? If you're a Ukrainian soldier fighting Ukraine against Russia and you have American flags on your helmet, why? Why? Yeah, very clean too, very clean uniform. Why does he have American flags on his helmet? I gotta know. So anyway, the big hubbub is Donald Trump called Zelensky a dictator, and said, and I think, I don't know if he meant it, but he said that something about Ukraine starting the war, which I wouldn't say Ukraine started the war, but let's just say that there's a lot been going on in that area that they were originally going in to fight in the Donbass region, that there was a conflict going on back and forth for a while that Ukraine didn't seem to be managing. But that still doesn't necessarily give Russia the reason to invade, but there was other stuff going on there, right? So I don't know what he means, what Trump means when he says that Ukraine started the war. I'm curious of how he's framing that. But apparently Zelensky has fired back and publicly attacked Trump. So here we have one article, J.D. Vance warns Zelensky over disgraceful public attacks on Trump, confirms Ukrainian elections are now U.S. policy. Because remember, I think when Trump called Zelensky a dictator for not having elections. He canceled elections. He banned all opposition political parties. He banned the Orthodox, the Russian Orthodox Church. He's done some things that, aren't very democratic, right? Hello, Renee Mayett. And they were shelling Donbass for a decade. Exactly. So he's done some things that aren't necessarily democratic. And remember, too, the United States is the place that toppled Ukraine's government back in 2014. So, and I'm sure that I'm sure Trump may be saying, well, what the fuck do we do that for? But anyway, so an exclusive interview with the National Pulse on Wednesday, Vice President J.D. Vance issued a stern warning to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky regarding his public criticisms of President Donald Trump and the administration's peace initiatives. Vance describes Zelensky's approach as disgraceful and counterproductive, emphasizing that such tactics could jeopardize Ukraine's relationship with its most crucial ally. Zelensky is getting really bad advice, and I don't know from whom. Vance said he's not dealing with Joe Biden and the Biden administration anymore. He's dealing with Donald Trump and the Trump administration. Vance warned against Zelensky's public protestations in recent days, stating the idea that he's going to litigate his disagreement with the president in public square. I mean, you, Raheem, know the president very well. Obviously, I know the president very well. This is not a good way to deal with President Trump, Vance said. Of course, the Ukrainians are going to have their perspective, and the way to surface that is in a private discussion with American diplomats. He's attacking the only reason his country exists publicly right now. And it's disgraceful, and it's not something that's going to move the president of the United States. In fact, it's going to have the opposite effect. So there's a warning from J.D. Vance. Also, Trump apparently blasted Zelensky, and this is where he said he's a dictator without elections. And some people are very upset with this language from Donald Trump. President Trump slammed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as a dictator without elections a day after Zelensky complained about Ukraine not having a seat in the diplomatic talks Tuesday between the United States and Russia. Trump ripped into Zelensky in a lengthy Truth Social post, first addressing him as a modestly successful comedian rather than president, referring to Zelensky's former career where he was a comedian on a variety show. So Trump said, think of it, a modestly successful comedian, Volodymyr Zelensky, talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that couldn't be won, that never had to start, but a war that he, without the U.S. and Trump, will never be able to settle, Trump wrote. Trump added that the United States has spent hundreds of billions of dollars more than on the war than Europe has. Now that's it's not quite accurate. Europe as a whole has spent a little bit more than the United States, but at least in theory, because we don't know how much Biden is giving them under the table. But anyway, he said billions more in the war than Europe has. The United States has spent $200 billion more than Europe, and Europe's money is guaranteed, while the United States will get nothing back. Yeah, Europe has done it all as far as basically loans, at least what I'm understanding, where we just gave them money. Why didn't Sleepy Joe Biden demand equalization in that this war is far more important to Europe than it is to us? We have a big, beautiful ocean of separation. So that's some typical Trump language. He wanted to write that Zelensky refuses to have elections, is very low in Ukrainian polls, and the only thing he was good at was playing Biden like a fiddle. A dictator without elections. Zelensky better move fast or he's not going to have a country left, he added. Trump added that his administration, which has had significant presence in Europe and Saudi Arabia over the past week, pushing for peace, is successfully negotiating an end to the war with Russia. Now, this is one of those things where I go back and forth. I go, well, how do you have the peace talks without Zelensky there? But maybe he's finding ways to put pressure on Russia to stop. I don't know, because obviously Russia's defenses are depleted. They've lost up to 1 million people. Or I don't know the numbers. Maybe it's 1 million people between both countries, but they've lost a lot of people. So it can't be good for Russian forces. So anyway, he continues here. Let's see. Biden never tried. Europe has failed to bring peace, and Zelensky probably wants to keep the gravy train going. I love Ukraine, but Zelensky has done a terrible job. His country is shattered, and millions have unnecessarily died, Trump concluded. And then Secretary of State Marco Rubio backed up Trump on that. And also, Trump is also suggesting that Ukraine elections could pave the way for peace. U.S. President Donald Trump suggested that Ukraine should conduct fresh elections to secure a place in the ongoing peace negotiations with Russia. Speaking from his Mar-a-Lago estate Tuesday, Trump explained, we have a situation where we haven't had elections in Ukraine, where we have had martial law, where the leader, I hate to say it, he's down to 4% approval rating. It's a country that has been blown to smithereens. Many of the cities are laying on their side. The America's first leader continued. I would say that if they want a seat at the table, wouldn't the people of Ukraine have a say? It's been a long time since we've had an election. So criticize them for not having elections. And then finally, apparently an ex-NATO commander warns Pax Americana is finished if U.S. Europe don't work together on Russia. Former NATO Deputy Supreme Commander Sir Richard Sheriff warned this week that the U.S. and European leaders are asleep at the wheel when it comes to confronting Russia and Ukraine. So these people want to fight Russia. They really started to keep fighting Russia. Sheriff told the BBC that he believes that remarks made by U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio in Saudi Arabia were cloud cuckoo land. Is that the words he used? Cloud cuckoo land? Cuckoo, cuckoo. I don't know. He said, I think it shows a failure to understand what Russia is about, he said. What Russia is about is removing Ukraine from the map as a sovereign state, incorporating Ukraine, either physically annexing it in terms of the eastern and southern regions of Ukraine, or installing a puppet government in Kyiv so that Ukraine becomes a sort of client state. Oh, you mean like Ukraine is now? When we helped topple their government in 2014? When they looked like they were wanted to elect some people who are a little more neutral? That's interesting. It says rather like Belarus. He said that any negotiator who believes that Russia will accept peace terms that Ukraine is comfortable with is deluding themselves. So this guy doesn't want peace. I wonder if he has any American military contracting stocks. Sharif said that President Donald Trump's intense criticism of Ukraine and its President Vladimir Zelensky means that Pax Americana is finished, meaning the cooperation between America and Europe. He said that it was up to Europe and Canada to forge a new security alliance without the U.S. to guarantee their own safety. Well, now look, I can't see anything wrong with that. Now, look, I got an argument on X, not an argument, I just got a discussion on X about this over the last couple days, and lots of people coming at me with this. And it's like, look, so we're bearing half the burden of supporting Ukraine. And look, we have some obligation here. Let's be honest, okay? One of our agreements was that we would get Ukraine to remove their nukes from Ukraine and that we would protect them from Russian aggression if it should ever happen, right? We also made an agreement with Russia that we would not allow NATO to further encroach eastward towards Russia. And so we've blown a lot of agreements here in some ways. But I don't know that means that since, Greg, Ukraine is not part of NATO, so we don't have a reciprocal protection agreement with them because of that. So you would think that especially Europe would be the ones to step up and make sure that if Ukraine needs what it needs, that Europe could do it. And since not all the European countries are living up to their spending on NATO, maybe they could help Ukraine because it's in their backyard. I don't mind that we help Ukraine, but I don't think we should be the ones holding a proxy war against Ukraine. So I'm all over the place in this. But anyway, hello, Evan S. Hello, Now What Studios, a.k.a. Woo, my friend from high school. Breaking news, Mitch McConnell will not seek re-election next year. Oh, my goodness. Fan-fucking-tastic. Could you imagine him trying to run for another 6 years in the Senate? I mean, he's already freezing at the podium, so I could see him in the middle of the campaign trail. Well, I think that we need to keep Donald Trump in check. Thank you, folks. That's my Mitch McConnell impression. So anyway, So some of the things that are trending. Oh, now, Ukraine's in a war and everything's going over there. And, the president of Ukraine is doing some really important things, trying to determine whether they should jump into the peace talks and whatnot. And for some odd reason, boy, oh boy, they've had a time to do a Vogue photo shoot while people are dying in the trenches on the front. That's part of the thumbnail today. What the hell? What is this? Somebody says, I remember the exact moment when I wanted the regime change in Ukraine. You had me at Vogue. Let's see. The AP is not a news aggregation site or a trustworthy source of journalism. Oh, I see. That's something about Red Cross. Why is Zelensky doing Vogue photo shoots in the middle of a war? Holy shit. Okay, and there's the Ukrainian soldier. I'm curious if this is actually a Ukrainian soldier now. Why does he have American flags on his helmet? In fact, I think other people here again, Clown World. Why did he have a U.S. flag on his helmet in the first place? Now he's ripping it off because Trump hurt his feelings? This dude should not have our flag on his helmet to begin with. The only troops that are fit to have U.S. flags on their helmets are American ones. Yeah, that didn't make sense. So let's say, this Ukrainian soldier out in the trenches, right? And they're fighting, they're shooting at each other and whatever. And this Ukrainian soldier gets shot and the Russians come over and are going to take a prisoner. And this motherfucker's going to have an American flag on his helmet? What is that? What is that signal? You motherfucker, you don't need to have an American flag on your helmet in the first place, asshole. This can't be right. Somebody, thank you. You're not an American soldier. You should not be wearing an American flag. Wear your own country's flag. The American flag should not be worn by anyone other than U.S. military member. The flag should not be present in your war at all. So, fuck this guy. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to get emotional there. And then the word dictator is trending because, Trump said dictator. And Piers Morgan. That really made Piers Morgan mad, by the way. Vladimir Zelensky is not a dictator. Vladimir Putin is a dictator. Zelensky didn't start the war in Ukraine. Putin did. Hope this clarifies things for anyone who's confused. Well, let me, I'm going to take a clip. I have a 10 facts about Ukraine and NATO from Kurt Schlichter here. I'm going to go bypass this for a second. And, oh, shoot, that's not the video. Hang on, I got the wrong video here. Let's fix that. Good God, Marty, what's wrong with you? And again, thanks, thank you, Swamp Fox Goes. But it's not, and here you're something else. I can't find it. Anyway, Janet Ghost Bear. No, are you not in here? Okay. Let me find this bookmark because I don't what the hell happened to it. Speaking of Piers Morgan. Oh, here it is. I want to make sure this is in the links today. I'm going to end with this clip and then a 10-point thing from Kurt Schlichter. We'll start with this first. And this is about, how long is this?
You seem very reliant on accepting...
It's a 5-minute clip, but it's worth listening to because this is kind of a prequel to what's going on in Ukraine. And I think it's very important to hear this guy, because Piers is so mad that Trump called Zelensky a dictator and, just the whole thing about, he's very pro-Ukraine, right? Here's something that you don't hear about Ukraine from the man he's talking to. So we're going to watch this video.
You seem very reliant on accepting Putin's worldview rather than perhaps...
This is a tactic they use too. Oh, well, if you don't agree with everything that's going on, you must be supporting Putin. No, Putin's an asshole. Russia's, I wish if I had a Russia's asshole button, I'd punch it. No.
Dark reality of the barbarism with which he's executed this war.
Yeah, maybe because I know too much about the United States, because
The first war in Europe after World War II was the U.S. bombing of Belgrade for 78 days to change borders of a European state.
I forgot we did
that. The idea was to break Serbia, to create Kosovo as an enclave, and then to install Bondesteel, which is the largest NATO base in the Balkans, in the Southwest Balkans. So the U.S. started this under Clinton, that we will break the borders, we will illegally bomb another country. We didn't have any UN authority. This was a, quote, NATO mission to do that.
Bill Clinton did all that?
Then I know the United States went to war repeatedly, illegally, in what it did in Afghanistan, and then what it did in Iraq, and then what it did in Syria, which was the Obama administration, especially Obama and Hillary Clinton, tasking the CIA to overthrow Bashar al-Assad, and then what it did with...
Now, let me stop for a second. Because I don't want you, even though I'm playing this, I don't want you to think that he's being anti-American here. But we do have some realities, and especially after coming out of Iraq and Afghanistan. And what we did in Libya, what we've done in other countries. The idea that we can pretend that we haven't done bad things. We can't pretend that. And I think one of the reasons a lot of us are sick of some of our wars is because of this latest Afghanistan debacle, 20 years in Afghanistan, finding out that the WMD thing in Iraq was wrong. And I back then, I was like, oh, I believed him. I was like, yeah, okay, we need to take care of that shit. And then you find out later, oh my God, what the fuck did we do that for? Now, not that, Saddam Hussein was a good guy or anything, but we went in there for different false pretenses, okay? So, and if we can't admit that, it's funny because a lot of these people, by the way, all these people bitching about, total supporters of Ukraine now, right? They're total gung-ho. Let's give them everything they need and let's make sure they fight off Russia. Where were all these motherfuckers when Russia invaded Crimea under Obama? Where were they? Because I'm convinced. Wait, you know what? In fact, I'm not even gonna play this because I gotta quit. I gotta quit for the day. Maybe I'll play it tomorrow. He goes through a whole litany of things that are facts about this region. The fact that in the Donbass region, they've been bombing people there for years. And it was, and also just the whole geopolitical thing with NATO creep and all that stuff. But my question is, for all the people who are so pro-Ukraine now, why is that? And I'm convinced that the reason they are, and we're not in 2014 or back in during the Obama administration when they took over Crimea, is only because of a scenario they cooked up and tried to place on Trump in the 2016 election. They came up with this scheme. Hillary Clinton and Obama knew about it because we know about the meetings in the White House. They made up a scheme to try to blame Putin for the Hillary Clinton losing an election. And they tried to come up with this fake story, and not that Putin was ever a good guy, but they made the entire Democrat left and make Russia not just an enemy, but a formidable enemy, the boogeyman. They made the Putin boogeyman. They all hate Putin now. which they didn't back during the Crimea stuff. They were concerned about it, but they didn't. Boy, they were. You didn't have all these people on the left bitching about Crimea. In fact, more people on the right were bitching about Crimea back then because it was Obama. Okay. But as soon as you had 4 years of this Russia thing, and Russia and Donald Trump put sanctions on the Nord Stream pipeline, they had to cancel that. He put more sanctions on Russia than Obama ever did. And in fact, when Joe Biden got into office, he removed the sanctions on the Nord Stream pipeline. And so they started building it again. Nord Stream 2, they started building it again. But by then, Russia had already started putting troops on the border of Ukraine. But I'm convinced all of these people are so concerned about Putin now because Hillary Clinton made up a story in 2016 during election season that Putin was helping Trump. And so everyone, as all the never Trumpers, all the Democrats are, granted, they got Lindsey Graham, but of course Lindsey Graham never saw a war he didn't like, so that's not nothing new. But they care so much now because Putin helped Trump. Trump's a Putin puppet. Trump, Putin, Putin, Trump, Trump, Putin. Where were they back then? So anyway, I do highly recommend watching that. But here's some 10 facts about Ukraine and NATO from Kurt Schlichter, and then we're going to finish. Number one, Russia is absolutely in the wrong for invading Ukraine. Nothing Ukraine did excuses or justifies Russia's actions. Number two, Ukraine is not going to be able to win the war. If the definition of winning the war is recovering all the conquered Ukrainian territory, a continued stalemate will result in many thousands of additional deaths. Number three, there is much more going on in this conflict than in the portrait painted by the media and establishment. It involves history, ethnicity, and other factors we Westerners, including me, who actually trained Ukrainian soldiers several times on Ukrainian soil, do not and cannot understand. Number four, Ukraine is an unbelievably corrupt country, and the idea that no substantial portion of our aid money has been stolen is ridiculous. Oh, double one for that. Number five, the American people are by and large tired of subsidizing Ukraine's end of this war. They are absolutely against American forces being involved. Number six, China is a substantially greater threat to the United States than Russia.
China is asshole.
In the macro. However, this war unacceptably raises the potential for U.S.-Russian conflict. Do not imagine that this cannot spin completely out of control. Number seven, Europeans should be taking the lead in supporting Ukraine and should be taking the lead in defending Europe. Number eight, the campaign to insult critics of past Ukraine policy by calling them Putin's puppets, etc., is a lie and is going to result in enmity towards the idea of helping the Ukrainians. You cannot insult Americans into obedience. You cannot fail to address their legitimate concerns and expect them to agree with you. Number eight, some of our NATO allies are participating in internal repression, including suppression of free speech and the right to organize and participate in elections via non-establishment parties. This dangerously undercuts the moral argument in favor of NATO. And number 10, it is in America's interest that this war ends. It is in our interest to draw Russia away from China and closer to the West. It is not in our interest to have a war going on where our proxy is fighting with a nuclear-armed enemy, regardless of how moral the cause is in Ukraine. The only way this is going to happen is if the United States takes the lead and forces Ukraine to make painful concessions in order to end this dangerous bloodbath. Ukraine is not worth a nuclear confrontation with Russia. Thank you, Kurt Schlichter. All right. All these things are in the links, plus the aggregator that I usually put in the links to. There's a lot of great articles in there, too. I've gotten through a couple of them, but not a whole lot today. But that's got to be it, guys. Thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I appreciate your patronage and the people who drop a few coins in the tip jars. Greatly appreciated, too. I am dropping the links in the chat as we speak. Copy. And here are the links. Bing, bang, boom. There you go. Got it. Got to go. Thank you. I'll also have those links in the description of this video /stream. While during the outro, I'll update that too. So that's it. I'll be back tomorrow. Free for all Friday. I do have to have a call-in show one of these days, though. Thanks for reminding a reaction on Puerto Rico. And thanks for all of you for joining me today. Gotta go. My name's P-Dog Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.